We are live. We are live. We are live. What is good, all y'all beautiful bastards out there? What is good? Welcome into the football channel. Baking up football. I'm about to bake up a football in a microwave for all y'all. You know that's not how you bake. We're going to do it today. Not really. We're going to go over the Broncos roster. You already know. And, yeah, I'm excited. You should be excited. It's the Broncos. They're going to be something next year. I don't know if they're going to be good. I am optimistic for them to be good, but I mean, I don't know. It might be a long year next year. I really hope not. I'm expecting at least entertainment. I think it should be entertaining. So, I'm hyped. I'm hyped for next year. You can't catch me being sad about watching the Broncos. Unless they're really, really bad. That's the only sad part. But alright, anyway, I gotta make sure real quick that we're live. I gotta make sure that we're going. Make sure the volume's kind of good. Make sure everything's rolling. Because that's just how it be. You already know. I'm gonna kind of get into this roster breakdown. Say what's up to the boys on the team here. I like a lot of these players, man. The Broncos are like, of course, my favorite team. But man, a lot of these players are good. They're lacking a lot of talent. They really are. A lot of these guys are young, unproven. But, I mean, hey. It's alright. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. I think we're live. Alright. So, I think I'm going to go in and get into this roster breakdown here. We're going to start with wide receivers. But hold on, sorry about that. I want to say the Denver Broncos are in a weird position going into next season because they don't have a proven quarterback. They have holes at receiver, they got holes at edge, and even the tight ends aren't so great right now either. So there's actually holes all around the roster. But like I said, I'm still very optimistic about this team, and we're going to see what they do next year. But alright, yeah. We're going to go ahead and start with receivers. That's what I got pulled up first. And on this website, you could kind of like change it by position. So I thought it'd be cool to go position to position. And obviously, we're going to start with Courtland Sutton. He's your number one guy. He's hopefully going to be here next year. Because if he's not, it's going to be so dumb. Because I think the trade rumors are dumb. I think it would be just straight dumb if the Broncos traded him. I mean, if they get a second round pick, maybe even a third round pick, all right. But Bo Nix is going to need a guy like Courtland to throw to, man. That offense was 90% Courtland Sutton last year. All them highlight plays were like Courtland Sutton, crazy touchdown after crazy touchdown. It was crazy. Bo Nix is going to need a guy like that. I wouldn't want to get rid of him. Plus, they got rid of Jerry Jeudy already. You don't want to have Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton go in the same offseason and not replace him. Kind of like the Chargers let Mike Williams and Keenan Allen go, and they didn't replace them. Who would the Broncos replace him with? I like the depth they got, like Marvin Mims. I like Troy Franklin. But Courtland Sutton's got to be here. Got to be the number one guy. I'd be heartbroken if he gets traded. He's one of my favorite players. I'd always said if I bought a Broncos jersey, it'd be Courtland Sutton, Justin Simmons, now Patrick Surtain probably. And now Justin Simmons is not even on the roster anymore. So, that's sad. But alright, I'm rambling on. Anyway, Courtland Sutton, hope he doesn't get traded. If he does, I would like a second round pick. I don't know. But he had 10 touchdowns last year. My man had 10 touchdowns, and almost all of them were freaking highlight touchdown passes. It was great. Great to see. But, alright. So, that's my feelings on Courtland Sutton. After him, though, we don't really got a great second guy behind him. Like, they did bring in Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds is a solid, 600-yard guy. He's a good third receiver that I feel like sets the bar for the team. You know what I mean? All these young guys, if they could perform better than Josh Reynolds, I would love to see that. He's had 600 yards, a few seasons. He's with the Rams for 4 years, and he was with the Lions. I think most people remember Josh Reynolds for his drops in the playoffs, but hey, man, he's a solid move the chains type of guy, so if he comes in and makes some plays, I'll be happy. And like I said, he sets the bar for the young guys. So if these young guys could beat out Josh Reynolds and get some snaps, it's going to be great. If Brandon Johnson, Jalen Virgil, Troy Franklin even, Devon Vele, if all these guys beat out Josh Reynolds, that's a good sign. Because Josh Reynolds is pretty solid, man. If Josh Reynolds gets to see the field, I'll be happy with that too. Because that just means he's still pretty solid. And the coaches liked him. He probably will, be here, make some plays for us. I want to see Marvin Mims, though. I really want to see Marvin Mims step up. That would be such a cool thing to see. He showed flashes last year, but he really didn't get used a whole lot. So if he could just get used a lot this year and actually put in some work, get the chance to prove himself, I think he's going to be good. He's still only 22 years old. He has a long career ahead of him. He looked really good. We wanted to see more of him, and we just didn't get to. He only had 22 catches for 377 yards and a touchdown. So not too bad, but I don't know. He's also a decent return guy, so with the new kickoff rules, maybe he'll go hard in the return game. That'd be so cool. Maybe one day he could be a number one guy, but I don't know. They just got to use him more. David Stills, he'll probably be gone. I wrote a little piece on Philip Dorsett. And they actually cut Philip Dorsett today. So I'm not surprised by it at all, but I just had to come in here and make a new note. The only thing I remember Philip doing for this team was he actually made a really good play, but most of it got negated because his foot was out of bounds. And that's all I remember from Philip. So I'm really not surprised he got cut, poor guy. He also was cut by the Raiders before that. So, yeah. Michael Bandy, he probably won't be on the roster either. I don't even know who Michael is. But little Jordan Humphrey, he's kind of a Sean Payton guy from the Saints who came over last year. And he was actually pretty solid. I would always hear him, his name being called, and he'd just be making plays out there. I think he's a decent 4th or 5th guy. Because, of course, I'd say you got Cortland, your number 1 guy. You got Josh Reynolds is probably your number 2. Marvin Mims is probably 3 right now. Well, I don't know. Josh Reynolds maybe would be your 3 because then you could have Marvin Mims as your number 2 guy. So then, I don't know. That's a solid 3, really. And then Tim Patrick. Oh, my man Tim Patrick, bro. He's just been dealt such a bad hand for the past couple of years. Bro tore his ACL twice, back-to-back seasons. Dude. I would love the Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, Marvin Mims trio with Josh Reynolds as a 4th if Tim Patrick wasn't a question mark at this point in his career. Because, oh, man, this bro has some hands. Oh, man. If he could go out there and see the field, he's got some hands. I'm really rooting for him. He's a good dude. And last I checked, he didn't hurt his hands, so he should be good to go. He tore his ACL, not his hands. So those hands should be good. I think everybody knows Tim Patrick went a whole season without dropping a single ball. So I respect that. Tim Patrick's a G. I've never gotten to see him play because he's always been hurt every game I went to. So that's unfortunate. So these are a solid group of ball catchers. Devon Vele, he was kind of like a 7th round flyer. Maybe he could do something. That'd be cool. Jalen Virgil, he's made some plays. I don't know if he'll do something. But if they see the field over Josh, like I said earlier, make me happy. But if they get rid of Cortland, this wide receiver room falls to part immediately, man. Because that makes Josh Reynolds or Marvin Mims as your number 1 guy. Tim Patrick. I don't know. There's no way they get rid of him, right? No freaking way. But alright, I think that's enough with the receivers. Because that's pretty much all. That's all we got with the receivers. I would have liked... Oh, Troy Franklin, I guess I didn't talk about. I do want to see Troy Franklin in the NFL. He made some hella plays in college. He's got his quarterback back again. Bo Nix trusts him. I think Bo Nix is going to go deep to Troy at least 1 or 2 times. Hopefully in the preseason or just sometime. Because I really want to see Bo Nix throw a deep touchdown pass to freaking Troy Franklin again in the NFL. I think that would be so cool. Everybody's talking crap about how Bo Nix is going to be bad and how Troy Franklin is going to be bad. And it's nobody knows. Nobody freaking knows yet. Alright, let's let it play out, and then we'll know. You can't say anybody from the draft is going to be good or bad. Look at Chase Young. He was a generational guy, and he flamed out rather quickly. and then freaking like all these guys you think are going to be good flame out. So the draft is a crapshoot. We don't know until they play. Sean Payton's a hell of a coach. I think he's going to get the best out of all these guys. Every guy he's going to put in a position to succeed. And it's going to be a great year for development at least. Because they're all young, dude. A lot of guys are young. Some are 26, 25, but that's, I don't know. There's a lot of young guys still here that need the development. And if they don't make the playoffs, if they look good, that's all I care about. But I really want to see them in the playoffs, obviously. But who knows if it'll be this season. Alright, oh man, the Broncos tight end room, though, is weak. It's like, I wish they would have got a tight end, because I really don't want to see Adam Troutman out there making any starts. Greg Dulcich was perpetually injured and didn't see the field at all. I think he got hurt week 3 or 2 or something like that. In 3 years, he's barely seen the field at all, man. So, we don't know what he's capable of. He's made a couple of nice plays, I guess, for us, but not anything of note, really, because he has to correct his gait or something. He can't walk correctly, and like I don't know what it is. It like correct his gait is what I think the report was. That's unfortunate, dude, because he would be our number 1 tight end for sure, and he seems like a baller when he's healthy. But after Greg, like I said, we really don't got anybody. I don't want to see Adam Troutman out there, man. He cannot break a tackle to save his life. He is slow. And it's just like, man, I don't want him as our number 1 guy. And if Greg's not good to go, he's the number 1 guy. And, oh, man. Nate and Lucas right here, they haven't done really anything for the team. They're just here. So, Broncos really don't have a tight end right now. And that's unfortunate. The Broncos' O-line last year was actually pretty decent. And I know it might be a little weird to say that with all the sacks to Russell. But most of those sacks, not most of them, a lot of those sacks on Russell Wilson were Russell Wilson's fault. So you can't blame the O-line for a bunch of those sacks. Also, when they beefed it up with Ben Powers and Mike McGlinchey last year, that was hype. I was really hyped for that. And it's good to see them out there and stay healthy pretty much the whole year. And, of course, they had Garrett Bowles coming back. He was good. And they were just all putting in work, man. They all gelled together. Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Mike McGlinchey, Quinn Miners, and Lloyd Cushenberry. All those guys gelled together. And they were freaking able to just... What was it? They were, stay healthy from, week 16 or 17 or 15. It was, way late into the season. Late. I don't know why I said early late. It was way late into the season until one of the guys got banged up. So this O-line knows how to stay healthy and put in work and work together, and I'm excited to see him out there again. I know they did lose Lloyd Cushenberry, but I'm sure they got a good guy to replace him. They drafted Nick Gargiulo, which, I mean, he might not even make a start because they also got Alex Forsyth, who he might start. Maybe. But hold up. I don't know if my internet went out. I don't know if we're still live. Hold up. Quick intermission went out. That is unfortunate because may have to restart it. Well, maybe not. This is the bad part about doing stuff live. The technical difficulties. But it's alright. Hold up. You know what? I think we're good. I think we're good to go. I think we're still live. That's my bad. Quick intermission right there. I don't know why it's disconnecting like that. Huh. Well, anyway. Sorry about all that. We are going to go ahead and get back into your regular scheduled programming. In just a second. So, yeah, line, hyped about. Should be better with Russell Wilson gone. Is the gist of what I wanted to say. Hold on, put back up my notes. All right, so now we guys, talking sometimes can be hard. Quinn Bailey, I feel like I've heard of, but he hasn't done anything. But all right, let's move on to the safeties. With the O-line being a bright spot, we got the safety position looking like another weak spot for this team. It's not exactly the brightest, of course. They lost Kareem Jackson during the season last season. They just recently cut Justin Simmons, which I talked about, which still makes me sad. Every time I say that sentence, Broncos cut Justin Simmons, I want to cry. I just want to cry. I do not believe in it. But I mean, hey, I guess it's all right because we got to get younger at the position, and they did. Caden Stearns, he looked really good before he got hurt. PJ Locke, he came in last year and played pretty solid. I was hyped to see it. I'm glad he came back because if he didn't come back, we really wouldn't have had anybody. Or like same with Brandon Jones. If they didn't bring in Brandon Jones, we wouldn't have had anybody. So I'm excited to see Caden Stearns, Brandon Jones, and PJ Locke out there. I would say for the Broncos right now, PJ Locke is the best proven safety. Because, Brandon Jones was good with the Dolphins during his time with them. But for the Broncos, we know that PJ Locke is solid. So all these other guys, we don't really know. Caden Stearns, he was looking good, but he got hurt. Can he come back from that? We don't know. PJ Locke, solid. We got a guy who could hold it down. Brandon, I think he could be pretty solid again because he was pretty solid for the Dolphins. 2 interceptions last year, 4 pass deflections. Having a guy back there that could just, put in work and has some experience, I think is nice. All these other guys you don't really know, like Omar Brown, Cam Allen, don't really know them. Question marks. Delarian Turner-Yell, when he was on the field, he didn't look the best. He kind of looked real replaceable out there. J.L. Skinner, I don't even think played that much. I think he was a healthy scratch sometimes because J.L. Skinner has not done anything. Oh my gosh, these names. I keep trying to say them too fast. Delarian Turner-Yell was just bad out there. Pretty much, kind of. Hopefully he could take a better step in year 4. But I'm not sure. Caden Stearns is pretty much the safety that I'm really hyped to see. If he could stay healthy, I'm really excited to see Caden Stearns. That might be a reason also why the Broncos are comfortable letting Justin go. I mean, cap-wise, of course. They probably didn't really want to let him go. But they're probably like, we got Caden Stearns. That's pretty good. We could bring in Brandon, PJ. That's a solid 3. If JL and Delarian could do something, then we got a good safety room. A solid safety room. But I don't know. I just don't like Justin Simmons leaving. Alright, so running backs. I like this running back room. Safety, little weak. Running back, strong. Because Javonte Williams, I feel like he has to be ready to go fully. The amount of hits he took last year and withstood all those, crazy. I was holding my breath every time he got hit, but he withstood every single one of them. I think he's going to be 100% this year, back to his old self and go hard. I really hope at least, but man, I could see that happening. It'd be so good. Then if they keep Samaje Perine, he was a good number 2 guy out there making plays. He got 50 receptions also. He was catching Russell Wilson's check down after check down. It was cool. He was a playmaker. But with them drafting Audric Estime and having Jaleel McLaughlin, I don't know who's all going to be on the roster now. I like all 4 of these running backs, but I don't know if they're going to keep 4 running backs. And I was thinking, if I was playing Madden, I would trade Samaje Perine, But you got to think. In real life, you got to think about blocking. Can Jaleel block as good as Samaje? You don't know. I think Samaje might be a better blocker than him. So they might move on from Jaleel. He's the younger guy, cheaper guy. But Samaje is a proven vet who could block and run hard. Are you going to keep him over the younger guy? It's a decision they got to make. Audric, he's also a 20-year-old guy. He's not going anywhere. I think he could be a solid number 2 guy for a while. And keep Jaleel as your 3 guy. I think if I was playing Madden, Audric would be my number 2 guy, Jaleel would be my 3, and Javonte would be 1. And I'll try to get Samaje traded. But with the running back value in real life, who knows what Samaje would even be traded for? He's a 28-year-old running back. Could you even trade Samaje at this point? Who knows? I don't know if he'd get traded at all. You might just have to cut him. The value for running backs in the NFL right now, not a thing. So, I don't know. Maybe with them being a running team, maybe they'll keep for... I don't think they will, but I really think Samaje and Julio are going to be gone. As sad as it is, because I like all these guys. Julio didn't get used as much as he could have been last year, but when he was on the field, he was making plays. He was fun to watch. But yeah, you just got to think about blocking. The Broncos got rid of Albert Okwuegbunam because he couldn't block. So, if you can't block in the NFL, you're gone. But, yeah. Solid guys. Solid running back room at this point. I really like Javonte. Think he's going to go blow up. Jaleel, if he gets used a bunch, he should be good. I just really like these guys. Aldrich, I want to see him develop. Tyler Beatty, he didn't do much. But alright, on to the quarterbacks. People are saying that this is the worst position on the team, which, to be fair, it is. It is. But I mean, hey, you got a rookie quarterback in there finally who has some upside, who knows how to run systems, and he's going into a good system. So he should be okay and be able to develop. And if he has to, he could sit behind a vet who's Jarrett Stidham, who, I mean, he's not the best vet to sit behind. He's no Aaron Rodgers like Jordan Love. But he's still somebody. And if he beats out Jarrett Stidham, that's going to be good to see. He's able to beat out Jarrett. That'd be awesome. I know I said that twice, but that's just how awesome it'd be. I just don't want to see Zach Wilson starting. Oh, my gosh. Zach Wilson, if he makes one start for the Broncos this next season, I'm going to be so sad. But, alright. I think, actually, the only person to really talk about is Bo Nix. Because there's probably a definite start that he's going to start week 1. Definite chance he's going to start week 1. Because, like, if he doesn't beat out Jarrett, to be honest, that might be looking sad. I know we got to give rookie quarterbacks time to develop, do their thing. But he was picked at 12. Jarrett Stidham's the only guy he has to beat out. I think he's got to beat him. He's looking good in training camp. I've heard the reports, but everybody looks good in training camp. I really just want to see Bo Nix throw a touchdown to Troy Franklin. That's all I want to see. And also, the Broncos need Bo Nix to be good, because if Bo is bad and they whiffed on yet another quarterback, I don't know how I'm going to act. Because, like, the Broncos not having a quarterback while the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes sucks. Like, I see how it feels, or how it must have felt for the Chiefs back in the day when the Broncos had John Elway and the Chiefs didn't really have anybody. Like, man, how the times have changed. Broncos used to have the quarterback, Chiefs didn't, and the Broncos bullied them. And now the Chiefs have a quarterback, Broncos don't. Chiefs bully them. Things flip, and they flip fast. How crazy. Bo Nix has to save the Broncos, dude. He has to be good, because, man. And who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows how it's going to be. Is he going into, like, the greatest situation for a young quarterback? Probably not. Probably not. But year 2 for him, if he could show some flashes as a rookie, I think year 2 they're going to be able to build around this team way better. And I'm excited. But alright. Riley Dixon, solid punter, I guess. They probably could have upgraded, but he's okay. Now on to these linebackers. So, the 3 linebackers that I really like on this team, that I think are hugely underrated: Jonathan Cooper, Baron Browning, Nick Bonito. Nick Bonito, I guess he's not like the greatest. He's not like the best. He's probably not underrated. But Jonathan Cooper and Baron Browning, both of them guys, I feel like are tearing it up. Baron Browning, if he didn't get hurt, he reminds me a lot of Von Miller. He gets in there, makes a play, and then does a funny celebration that I love to see. Von Miller written all over him. I freaking love watching Baron Browning out there. I think he is a candidate to have a breakout season. If he could stay healthy, Browning, I think, would be my number one choice for a breakout season. Him and maybe Javonte. If Javonte stays healthy, man. That's all it is. You can't really know who's going to get injured. But if these guys stay healthy, man, their potential is great. And I think it's going to be good. Especially if the defense is on the field a lot more. Browning will have a lot more chances to go crazy. Same with Jonathan Cooper, man. It's cool to see both these guys on the field. And I just want them to feast. Nick Benito, I called his sack against the Commanders. I was like, I would like to see Benito get a sack. I bet he's going to get one. Next play, he got a sack. Best thing I've ever freaking called in a game. So I would like to see him get more sacks this season, go crazy, and develop into a crazy player. But I'm not really too sure. He's just solid. I don't think he's going to be a game-changing guy, but he's solid. But I am hyped about Baron Browning, Jonathan Cooper. I don't really know Ronnie Perkins or Thomas Ecom. So maybe they could do something. Solid depth, maybe. I don't know Jalen Allen. He's a rookie. But yeah, those are a solid 3 guys. They had Jonas Griffith. I guess he's an inside linebacker, who I was always hyped about. But same with Tim Patrick. Jonas Griffith kept getting hurt over and over. So he's not the guy that I was really hyped anymore. Every season, I was like, oh, Jonas Griffith is just going to go hard. He's going to go crazy. And then he'd get hurt. So I can't put my faith in Jonas anymore. My faith is in Baron Browning. But alright. I guess Will Lutz, we could bring up Will Lutz. So everybody, including me, was sad when Brandon McManus was gone, because Brandon McManus was the GOAT, making hella field goals for the Broncos, especially in clutch situations. But Will Lutz came in, and he was pretty good. He was pretty solid. And I think statistically, Will had the better season over Brandon. So, I mean, I still would have liked Brandon McManus to still be here because he's just a legend for the Broncos. But I like Will. Will Lutz is pretty solid. Made a hell of field goals. And I think it was probably a good move to bring Will in. So for the actual more inside linebackers, I think it's a little weak since you lost Josie Joel. But I mean, you still got Alex Singleton. This guy's a tackling machine. He'll freaking lay into you. He had a crazy hit against Derrick Henry. He hits just all kinds of people. Oh, I know. I think it was Josie Joel who hit Derrick. One of the guys hit Derrick. I can't remember. But anyway, Alex Singleton was great on that defense last year. I see why they kept him over Josie. Because, man. And then you got Drew Sanders out there. He hasn't really done much for the Broncos. He's still developing. Maybe this next year he could do something cool and make himself a household name. But I don't know. If he could do something and be good, I think this duo could go crazy. It probably won't be as good as Josie Joel and Alex Singleton, but I don't know. That duo was crazy to watch. I liked watching them both play together. Maybe they could do the same. Alex and Drew duo. It could be fun to watch as well. Let's see. Justin Stranad, he's still here from that one horrible Broncos draft. He's the last guy from his draft to be here. Which, I don't know how, to be honest. He's done nothing for this team. It's really weird. I just don't know why he's still here. I think Josie Joel is going to do good on the Panthers. 100%. I think that's a big loss for the Broncos. Not really like a huge loss, but it's a solid loss for the Broncos and a pretty solid gain for the Panthers. I can't believe Justin Strnad has been here since 2021 and done nothing. That's a lot of time to be here and do nothing. Take up a roster spot and not contribute. That just blows my mind. I hope Alex Singleton has another nice season, though. I like just seeing him out there hitting people. And if Jonas Griffith could stay healthy, he is a solid player. But I have no more faith. He probably won't make the roster. I'm not too sure. Quinn Miners, he looked pretty solid out there. He gave up some easy sacks that I was watching. I was like, oh man. But he developed into some pretty solid blocker, into a pretty solid blocker. And of course, Ben Powers. Nick Gargiulo was almost the last pick in the draft, so who knows if he'll even start for a while. I already said that earlier, but that's crazy. He has a picture where he looks wild. So he cut his hair and did all that. Now he looks pretty normal. I think that's pretty funny. You gotta look up Nick Gargiulo if y'all haven't. But yeah, I'm hyped for the Broncos line. And we're going to move on to the D-line. So the offensive line is pretty solid, but that D-line for the Broncos is not the best, man. It lacks any sort of pass rush, really. And the depth as a whole just lacks. None of these guys are really household names. I guess the only good thing they got going for it is they traded for John Franklin Myers during the draft. Zach Allen is pretty solid, but he's probably the best guy you got. He's probably the best guy because DJ Jones, he's not living up to his contract. He's solid, but I think all thought DJ was going to be a little better than he was because he's just forgettable out there. Zach Allen, he made some plays. I saw Zach Allen get held a lot and no flags get called on him. But I really like the John Franklin Myers trade. I don't think the Jets wanted to get rid of him. So getting him during the draft for a 6th round I think is huge. He's a proven guy that the Jets didn't even want to get rid of, So him being an immediate upgrade for this defense and the Broncos is great. All these other guys, though, legit, man. We got to see more out of DJ, but I don't know if we're going to see it. Elijah Garcia didn't do much. All the guys are just depth, and they really just need better line play. I'm hyped to see Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers, and DJ Jones, but outside of them three, nobody. Pretty much nobody. They brought in Malcolm Roach, who's I guess a run stopper, who was on the Saints. But, yeah, man, they got to get better line play. I am hyped for John Franklin Myers, though. If he could just come in and make some plays, that's a win. All right, down to these DBs. They signed Levi Wallace from the Saints, which he's just a vet and the Broncos needed because the Broncos' best corner is Patrick Surtain. He's pretty much the face of this team right now. He is the best player on this team. And he was the main feature in the jersey reveals. So the Broncos shouldn't, I'm pretty sure aren't going to let him go anytime soon. They also picked up his 5th-year option. So yeah, he's not going anywhere, which I'm okay with. I freaking love Patrick. I know it's probably better to trade him and get picks for him and think about next season. But man, I really like Patrick Surtain. He's a guy that you need to keep and build around on that defense. Especially if Bo Nix is good. Patrick Surtain, you have to keep. If Bo Nix is bad, I think trade Patrick next year. Because then I feel like you don't really need a number 1 corner at that point. But man, we got to have somebody great on that defense. I know you could just throw away from him if you're the opposing team's quarterback and he won't affect the game as much. But man, you don't let a guy like that walk away. You gotta at least get a first for him, I guess, if anything. He probably would be a 1st-round pick. But legit, outside of Patrick Surtain, the Broncos really don't have any cornerbacks at all. Like, Levi, he's solid, but he got burned a few times. He's not going to be your game changer. Jaquan McMillan came in there and just made some plays, and he looked really well. He took Damari Mathis' spot, because Damari Mathis was out there looking horrible. I kept wanting to get Damari Mathis to get benched almost every game. I felt really bad, but I was like, man, he is just a liability out there, CJ. Damari was just a liability. But it's all right. I'm glad, though, they brought in Levi. I'm glad Jaquan took his spot and looked good. And they got Patrick. That's a solid 3. But it's not going to put you over the edge against the Chiefs. It's not going to put you over the edge against really much. Patrick Surtain is going to have to cover Devontae Adams. And who's going to cover Brock Bowers? I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to cover Brock Bowers on the Raiders. I guess that's also the linebacker's job, but same there. Is Drew Sanders going to cover Brock Bowers? Crazy. But yeah, you really got to hope these guys could just step up and hang with the Chiefs and show that there's a true number 2 guy outside of Pat Surtain. Maybe Riley Moss will actually get on the field. He didn't do anything. He didn't even see the field, I don't think. Or unless it was on the special teams. But we haven't seen anything from him. Maybe he could do something. He's pretty much just known for being like the last white cornerback. Which, I mean, now there's 2 because Cooper DeJean on the Eagles. But, yeah. That's all that is. And I guess they also drafted Chris Abrams-Drain. His college tape looked pretty nice. Maybe he could do something, get on the field quicker than expected. I want to see Chris beat out Damari and maybe Riley. Maybe he could beat out Riley. Traymon Smith, I feel like is a special teams guy more than like a corner. I don't know Reese Taylor. I don't know Devon Key. I don't know these 2 guys. Hopefully they could step up and do something because the Broncos need a cornerback and a safety to step up. Because, man, there's so many holes on this team, but I still have I'm still so optimistic. It's crazy. The more I just look into these guys, though, and notice how unproven they are, like, yeah, they could have shown flashes last year and looked solid, but you never know when there's more tape on a guy how teams are going to be able to prepare for them and do all that. It's just pretty wild. And though, like, teams know which guy on a defense to attack. And if you're that guy, it's going to be rough. So, hopefully, and everybody knows it's Damari. Everybody knows the guy to attack is Damari. So, I don't know. So, for the centers, yeah, we're kind of weak on center after losing Lloyd. We got Alex Forsyth, Luke Wattenberg. I think they drafted a couple years ago. But yeah, hopefully they can get a good center. Might be a weak position for sure. Because Alex is definitely a downgrade from Lloyd. But they don't have the cap space this year. Or they didn't have the cap space this year to keep him. It's alright. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much the team. Oh, I guess Jonah Ellis. He's pretty good in college. They drafted him because we had nobody on the edge. So, hopefully he could develop. I'm hyped to see something from anybody, any of the rookies. Like, legit, if this next year could just be a great develop year for all these guys and make them all just get used to the feel, the speed, and just get ready to, go out there and be good the next season after this season, it'd be great. It'd be great to see. That's like, especially like, that's how it is in Madden. You're bad for one season, the next season you're like, all right, rebuild. The Broncos have never been like horrible. In a while, they haven't been just straight horrible enough to get a top 5 pick. They're always like 10, 11, 12. So they gotta, if they're like really, really bad, it won't even matter as long as they develop, because then they'll have a high pick. But if they're good and making it to the playoffs, that'll be crazy. But I don't know. I'm just hoping for an entertaining season, and I want to see Bo Nix be good because, my God, he has to be good. And I'm excited for Sean Payton to prove that he's still a head coach. A lot of people diss Sean Payton and think he's not good, talk crap. But I really think Sean Payton has a great system. He made Russell Wilson look good. I think a lot of people are giving Russell Wilson way too much credit. Like, the amount of trash that got talked about Russell Wilson last year when he was on the Broncos was crazy. He got talked all that unnecessary trash by all the fans and everybody in the media. But now that he left the Broncos and went to the Steelers, everybody loves him for some reason. He didn't do anything. He is loved for no reason when he used to be hated. When he was undeservedly hated. It's such a weird trip to think about Russell Wilson, because he went from being loved in Seattle, hated in Denver, loved in the Steelers. And it's like, why was he hated in Denver? Because of Sean Payton or something. They just didn't get along. But actually, he was hated in Denver because he sucked. He was pretty bad. And now everybody blames Sean Payton. that's a trip. It's a whole trip. I'm rambling at this point. Fucking freaking Russell Wilson. If Russell Wilson is the same guy as he was on the Broncos, as he is on the Steelers, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna laugh because he's probably gonna get all the hate immediately. But if he's better with the Steelers, I'm gonna be like, all right, good. You deserve at least some love. Cause like I don't hate Russell Wilson. I just like don't understand how he went from hated to loved without playing any football or without changing at all. Like, he's always been a good guy who volunteers at Children's Hospital. But yet, they hated him. It's weird, just because he's corny. But now he's gone from the Broncos, and Sean Payton's the bad guy. But alright, I think that's pretty much all I got with this team. I'm excited to see what Sean Payton and this team could do. Because they're a bunch of young guys who are ready to prove themselves, become household names, and just have a great time playing football, man. And I'm excited to watch it. I'm always going to be a Broncos fan no matter how bad they are. I'm always going to root for them to at least make the damn playoffs. It's been so long. Oh, man. And if we could just find a quarterback. If the Broncos could just find a quarterback, everything would fall into place. I just know it. That's all they need is a damn quarterback. So, let's go, Bo Nix. Show us what you got. Let's see what could... we all got to just wait and see what happens. It's a long off season. And I'm excited. But anyway, I appreciate all y'all for watching. Appreciate all y'all for clicking on the video. Stay tuned. I'm probably going to be streaming Madden on this channel during the off season. If you want to check out my other channel, Baking Up Entertainment on YouTube, I'll be streaming all kinds of random games on there. I'll be making shorts. I just put up a Broncos best draft players short up. It wasn't like best drafts, but just a bunch of good draft players that I wanted to talk about. Made a short of that. And, yeah, if you like, just, stick around. Stay tuned for all the content. I'm going to be grinding out football. With it being the off season, it's kind of hard to think of ideas. But I'll think of them. And whenever news happens, I'll break it. So, once again, I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Go Broncos. Beat the Chiefs. Beat the Raiders. Beat the Chargers. Go Broncos, baby. All y'all have a good-ass night. Check me out on Baking Up Entertainment. That's probably where I'll be most of the time if I'm not here.